Okay, so for today, I want to start with a little more work on order of operations. We talked about this with a couple of those pictures up on the board yesterday. I want to do just a little more work on this before we get into our new topic for today, which will be evaluating. Okay. So order of operations. What was that word that we talked about yesterday? PEMDAS, right? That tells you the order everything goes in. Up here for you for your convenience. What all those letters stand for. So we're going to start with anything inside parentheses. It says parentheses, but we know that sometimes we can see those like square brackets too, or like the curly braces. Those also count. Parentheses really is a stand-in for anything that's grouping. Okay? We'll also see some problems later today where the grouping thing is like absolute value bars. We've got stuff inside absolute value. That also counts as a group. Or if I'm looking at a fraction and there's stuff to do on the top or on the bottom of a fraction, that also counts as part of our parentheses, our sort of grouping symbols. Then exponents, then multiplication and division have the same importance. So when I've got both, we do them in order from left to right. And then addition and subtraction, again, same importance. So I do them in order from left to right. So let's take a look at number 1 to start. Number 1 here. What's the first thing I want to tackle for number 1? The first thing I want to do in this list. Division, right? I have multiplication and division. They're equally important, so I do them in order, okay? In order from left to right. So I'm going to start with the division because it comes first. 18 divided by 2 gives me 9. Very good. And so I've got 14 plus 9 times 18 minus 7. What comes next? What should I do next? The multiplication, right? Multiplication is what's left next. We may need to bust out the calculators for a few of our problems for today. 18 times 9. Can everybody help me out with that one? What do we get? 162. So I've got 14 plus 162 minus 7. What should I do next? Yeah, everything that's left, right? I have addition and subtraction. They're equally important, so I'm going to do them in order from left to right. That means I'll do the addition first, and then we'll take off 7 at the end. So 14 plus 162, that would be 156. And then subtract 7, and we get, would that be 149? That sound good? Double check me. Okay. Where did I subtract? Oh, I sure did. So this would be 1. That's why I told you, you guys have to double check me. So this would be 176 and then 169. Here we go. Good. Good catch. I have subtracted, half added. You should do all addition or all subtraction. Don't make up your own things like I did. Let's try number 3. We're going to hop around a little bit. There's a lot of problems on this paper. We won't go through all of them. Number 3. Where should I start for number 3? Multiply, yeah. Everything else is addition or subtraction. Multiplication is the most important of the things that we have here. 8 times 4 gives me 32. 32 plus 9 minus 9 plus 18. What should I do next? So could I just take, I thought, add 9 and then subtract 9. Is it okay to say, hey, that's a net change of 0? As long as I've taken care of my addition and or my division and multiplication, if I've got nothing else that's more important, that'll be okay. If I do, now technically what I should do is my operations in order as they are written on my paper. If I do that, 32 plus 9 is going to give me 41. And then I take that 9 away and I'm back at 32. Okay. So all of this together is going to get me back to 32. And then add 18. What do I get if I add 18? 50. Let's take a look at number 10. Number 10, where do I start? Start with the multiplication. I see multiplication and division. They are equally important, but the multiplication comes first. So we will start there. 10 times 12, what do I get? 120. And then what should I do next? Now I'm going to do the division. 14 divided by 2 gives me 7. So I've got 120 minus 7 plus 15. What operation should I do next? I should subtract. Addition and subtraction, all that's left, I do them in order. So 120 minus 7, 113 plus 15, 128. Very good. I would like you guys now to try number 8 and number 11. Try number 8 and number 11. Order of operations. And then when you are done, if you want to double check with the neighbor, if you have questions you're working, do it. Let's take a look at these. I noticed as I walked around, a lot of people jotting down what they got after each operation. Love that. Love it, love it, love it. As much as it makes sense for your particular problem, please show your work. Okay? We'll run into some stuff where there really isn't any work to write down, and that's okay. For stuff like this, where I've got a bunch of different steps that I'm going to end up doing, write down your work. Okay? When it comes time to turn in work to me on a quick check or a test or a quiz, I look at your work anytime your answer isn't what I'm expecting. And I look at your work to see, did we make a silly mistake and you knew what you were doing? Or are we kind of way off base? And that tells me we need to go back and chat about some stuff and do maybe a little like retry on some things. So I want to see your work. Please write down your work. For number 8, where are we starting? Why would I start with division first? Because it comes first, right? So 10 divided by 5 gives me 10 divided by 5, 2. And now I can do that multiplication. 9 times 11 is 99, I heard someone say. So we've got 2 plus 10 minus 99. Addition and subtraction, we go in order. So this would be 12 minus 99. What do I get here? Negative. We get a negative on this one. Okay, negative 87. That's okay. We're going to see negative numbers. We're going to see fractions and decimals. That's okay. How about number 11? Where should I start on number 11? The division. 14 divided by 2 gives me 7. And then I've got minus 1 plus 3. Subtraction first. Again, addition and subtraction. Same importance, so we just go in order. 7 minus 1 is 6. And then when I add that 3, we get 9. Very good. Okay. Turn to the back for me, please. Turn to the back. We're going to do a couple more problems. Again, there's a lot of problems on this paper. We're not going to go through them all. I just want to make sure we hit a little bit of everything here. So I think we're going to look at number 23 to start. Number 23 on the back side now, we can see some parentheses. We can see some grouping. We've also got some exponents sprinkled in here. So for number 23, where should we start? Start with our parentheses, with our grouping things. We've got more than one set of parentheses here. Okay? So we're going to treat it just like when there's more than one addition or more than one multiplication. Okay, we'll go from left to right. So starting with our first set of parentheses, 17 minus 3. That gives me 14. And then inside our second set of parentheses, 14 minus 6. That would be 8. So I've simplified in my parentheses. What should I do next? Multiplication. So 14 times 8. 14 times 8. 126. And then minus 22. 104. Number 24, where should I start? Inside my parentheses still. This time I've got more than one operation to do inside my parentheses. So I'm going to ignore everything else for just a minute. And inside our parentheses, we again follow order of operations. Okay. So I've got addition and subtraction. Did I make a mistake on something? Yeah. What did I do wrong? 112. Thank you. Okay. 112 and then minus 22. Okay. So what should I have gotten? 90. Thank you. Okay. So number 24 inside our parentheses, addition and subtraction equally important. So we just go in order. So 9 plus 33 gives me 42. Then minus 6 gives me 36. So I've got 36 divided by 6 minus 3 squared. What should I do next? The exponent. Okay, I should do the exponent next. So 3 squared is 9. So I've got 36 divided by 6 minus 9. What operation do I look at next? The division. 36 divided by 6 gives me 6. Minus 9 is another negative, negative 3 this time. I want you guys to try number 26. should have gotten a different answer. We're gonna do 4.
I don't know.
Okay, I didn't know.
Yeah, she said 26. She told me 26.
Let's go ahead and take a look at this one. Okay, let's check 26. Where do I start? Inside the parentheses. What am I going to do first inside the parentheses? The exponent, right? 3 squared is 9. What do I do next? The multiplication. 9 times 5 is 45. And then I can add these together. So we've got 54 here. So I've got 2 times 54 plus 4. 2 times 54, multiplication before the addition. That would give me, should have gotten 108, right? Double check me, 108. Okay. Plus 4, 112. Yeah? Last one I want to look at together on this paper, number 27. Where should I start on number 27? Inside the parentheses, we've got 2 sets. We'll start with the first one. 6 plus 3 is 9. So I have 9 squared here plus, how about inside these parentheses, where do we start? The division. 10 divided by 5 is 2. And then 9 minus 2 is 7. So I've got 9 squared plus 7. What do I do next? The exponents, right? 9 squared. And I wanted to do this one because I wanted to point out that there's a difference in where our exponent lives on number 27 versus number 26. So on number 27, okay, the exponent lives outside the parentheses. That means I do what's in the parentheses first, then the exponent. Number 26, my exponent was attached to the 3. It was inside the parentheses, so I did 3 squared before I did some of this other stuff in here inside parentheses. Okay, so a little bit different. 9 squared gives me 81 plus 7 gives me 88. Take your time with these. You guys are doing good work. Just take your time, write down your steps. Okay. Most of the issues I saw where we just got a little ahead of ourselves. We made like a couple of silly mistakes, but not anything that's not like really hurt us. Okay. So I want you to put this one away. We'll come back to it later. We'll use it for probably some warm-ups for the rest of this week. So don't get rid of it. Put this one away. And the next thing I want to talk about is evaluate. So once we've got order of operations down, talk about evaluate. The idea behind evaluate is that we've got an expression, we've got something with variables, and we're going to plug in some values for those variables and simplify. So on your new paper, I want to start with number 1. We only have problems on one side this time. I want to start with number 1. And our directions say evaluate each expression, right? These are expressions because they've got variables in here. I've got letters in here, X, Y, and Z. And I can plug whatever I want in for those variables. That's what makes them a little bit different. That's what we call expressions. That's the difference between what we're doing now and what we just worked on. I have these variables in here, and I'm going to plug in X equals 6, Y equals 12, and Z equals 4. Evaluate when means we are plugging those values in. for our variables here, okay? So for number 1, I'm gonna plug in 6 and 12 and 4. So 2 times 6 plus 12 over 4. And then we follow our same order of operations, just like we were working on. The only new thing that we're going to see for a couple of these problems are, we'll have some problems like we see with number 1 here, where we've got something in that sort of fraction format, and there's stuff to simplify on the top, or maybe there's stuff to simplify on the bottom. We're going to treat that the same way we would treat parentheses, that sort of grouping. Or we've got a few problems with absolute value here. We're going to treat those the same way we treat parentheses. Okay. So on number 1, we're going to start with the top. We're going to treat it like parentheses because there's more than one thing to do there. So just looking at the top, what should I do first? The multiplication. 2 times 6 is 12. And then 12 plus 12 gives us 24. Now we can take a look at our division. 24 divided by 4 gives us 6. Good. Number 2, same idea. We're going to plug in our values and simplify using order of operations. So x is 6 times y is 12 minus 4 squared. Where should I start here? Exponent. So I'm going to do 4 squared to start. 4 squared is 16. So I've got 6 times 12 minus 16. What's my next step? The multiplication. 6 times 12. That gives me 72 minus 16. 72 minus 16, that would be 56, yeah? 72 minus 16. Let's jump down to number 4. We've got absolute value on number 4. We're going to treat that the same way we treated our parentheses. Absolute value on number 4. So we'll plug our values in. So 5 times 6 plus 12 minus 4. We want to start inside of our absolute value bars because we treat them like parentheses. Okay, when we talk about order of operations, I want to work inside that group first. 12 minus 4 is 8. And then we'll go ahead and simplify that absolute value. Absolute value of 8. Remember working with absolute value before? A little fuzzy on this one. So remember, absolute value is like talking about distance. How far am I from 0? So if we're at 8, what's that distance from 0? How far away from 0 are we? We're 8 away from 0. Okay. It's like if I said the grocery store is 3 miles from my house. So if I'm at the grocery store, how far am I from my house? 3 miles, right? Does it matter what direction the store is from my house? No, if I'm asking distance, it's just how many miles is that? So if we were at -8, what's that distance from 0? Also 8. Yep, also 8. So here we've got for our absolute value 8. So 5 times 6 plus 8. What should I do next? Multiplication. 5 times 6 is 30 plus 8. So we would get 38 there. Try number 6 for me. Once I've got all my values plugged in, what's the first thing I want to simplify? First thing I want to do. Inside my absolute value. 6 plus 4 is 10. What's the absolute value of 10? 10. So I've got 2 times 12 minus 10. Now what? Multiplication, 2 times 12 is 24 minus 10. So we should get 14. Very good. I want you guys to try this row right here in the next section. I want you to notice that you've got some different variables, some different values to plug in. I want you to try 7, 8, and 9. And then we'll stop for today.